photo and sent it to me, thinking it was weird that the string was floating. 3 months later, she called me scared out of her mind and told me to look in the back. She was home alone at the time. We recognized the figure as my late aunt, and you can even barely make out a Winnie the Pooh on the right side of her chest.
I don't think that's your auntie anymore. I think that's a demon. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. This week, I have some of the creepiest and scariest TikToks that are going viral on your FYP in 2026. But we have no time to spare, so let's jump in.
Every 3 years, like clockwork, I re-deep dive down the lore of the Denver International Airport between the hours of 1 to 2 a.m. any given day. Doesn't matter when it's gonna happen, but it always happens every 3 years. For those of you who have not been down this rabbit hole before, I'm gonna take you down there with me because it's just so insane. All alleged, by the way. Have your own mind. You can make your own interpretations. Okay, we're all adults here. Maybe, some of us, not all of us. To understand how crazy some of the stuff they actually have inside the airport is, you kind of have to understand a little bit of the history. So the process of building this airport actually started in September of 1989. It came in to replace the Stapleton Airport, which was a perfectly fine airport. There really wasn't any issues with it, maybe some debates about it overcrowding a little bit. Officials came in and they were like, actually, we're gonna close down this airport, open up a new one, make it bigger than Boston, as well as Miami, San Francisco, Paris, and Manhattan. We're gonna set the budget at, let's say, like $2 billion. They're putting a lot of money into this airport, making it massive. But this is not what happened. They ended up opening up 2 years late because they had so many construction mishaps. Several of the buildings were constructed very incorrectly, whether it was the wrong location, wrong size, a design flaw. Ultimately, instead of demolishing these buildings, which is like the normal way to get rid of a building, they were like, oh, just bury it. Huh? Ultimately, around 5 to 6 of these buildings were just buried. During the process of building, they were also hiring out a lot of different contractors. So it's thought that there isn't like a singular person that really knows the full scale and full capacity that is DIA. There's a lot of people online that theorize that maybe some of these buildings that were buried underground are being used for something else. There's a lot of people online that have said that maybe these buildings are being used for something else, such as an underground bunker. For who, you might ask? We'll get into that. By the time they were done constructing everything, the final cost was $4.8 billion. Maybe I don't know enough about airports and the things that go into it, but $2 billion over the budget seems a lot, seems excessive. A lot of people have also commented on the shape of the airport as well, which appears to look like a very frowned upon symbol. I don't know if I can say that on here, which I don't really see this one as much unless you're like really looking for it. But one of the designs about the place that does truly creep me out is that the whole thing is surrounded by barbed wire that it's facing inwards, almost as if you're keeping something trapped in as opposed to keeping something out. And you might be thinking, oh, that is kind of a weird construction process, but at least it ends there, right? Well, the way that they've decorated this place is really what's fueled the rumors, starting with the massive colorful murals that are inside. These murals have this eerie post-apocalyptic feel to them, with a military figure and children and women looking like they're at his feet. It also looks like he's unaliving a bird in one of these, but the artist has come forward and been like, no, I didn't mean for this to frighten anyone. This is just supposed to be about world peace. I totally understand that art is very interpretive for everyone, but for me personally, and it seems like for a lot of other people, I just don't feel relaxed or at peace whenever I look at some of these images. But we are literally just scratching the surface.
I'm still stuck on the fact she said it's larger than Manhattan. That means there's definitely more to that airport than what meets the eye.
This is how you spot a mimic. A girl under the user 10 out of 10 explains that while home alone one night, she heard banging at her garage door. Knowing she isn't expecting any visitors, and it being so late at night, she thinks it's an animal and opens the garage door when she sees this. She immediately runs back inside and leaves the garage door open after seeing the sounds are coming from this uncanny figure of a pale person standing completely motionless, staring directly at her from behind the tree. The girl in the video explains she has no idea who or what this is, but after leaving the door open, many cases have been reported of a mimic breaking in and trying to lure you to open the door.
Why is the mimic a little cutie though?
So much weird stuff has been happening on this app. Like, the main reason I've stepped away from it for a second. Let me explain what has been happening to my TikTok lately. So a couple weeks ago, around the time where I was filming my last videos that I posted on my profile, I filmed maybe about like 3 to 5 videos that day of like 2 hours. So a couple hours later, I was going back and editing them to post them. I edit on TikTok. While I'm editing this video, it's a video about Jeffrey Epstein. There are about 2 minutes of footage that were completely silent. I was not hooked up to any Bluetooth. I was not getting any phone calls. My service is actually shut off right now, so I can't even receive any phone calls. I don't know what happened, but my audio just cut off for like 2 or 3 minutes. This was like an 8-minute video because this was before I edited everything down. And I was like, okay, like maybe I need to update the app. So I went to the app store and it did need an update. So I updated it and then I went back into the app. I kind of wanted to get along the lines of my old script so I could remake the video. So I went to go click on my Epstein video and it wasn't there along with 2 other fucking videos. The other 2 videos was one about the David updates. So the case surrounding David right now, when authorities found Celeste's body in his Tesla. There's been updates about that. So I was doing a video updating some things over there, and a story time video about something creepy as shit that happened to me like a year ago inside of a Waffle House. That sounds random, but I promise it's correlated to my account. Basically, how I overheard a conversation about human trafficking between a waitress and a truck driver at Waffle House. Those 3 videos were gone out of my drafts. I checked my privated videos to see if I maybe sent it there. I checked like to see if I accidentally posted it or if it was in my photos. No, they were just gone. So I was like, okay, that's weird. Maybe just because, you know, they're my recent videos, TikTok had a glitch and accidentally deleted them. So I went back into the app store. I deleted TikTok and re-downloaded it because I was like, fuck it. My like favorite drafts are already deleted now. Who cares? So I went and I re-downloaded the app, logged onto this account. I kept getting weird searches in like my search bar, which whenever you like delete the app and re-download it, there should be no searches there. It was weird random searches I had in my search bar. I had 2 drafts still in my account, which I'm sure everybody knows. If you delete TikTok, your drafts are not saved. Your drafts go poof. But I had like 2 drafts still there after I deleted the app. And they were like random clips of like my older videos from like months ago that I didn't even know were still in my drafts. So I've been taking a fat break because I'm low-key spooked and scared to use this fuck-ass app. But I'm still gonna re-record those videos and hopefully it works out. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. So if you see those videos, it ended up working. I love you guys.
I'm not gonna lie, my TikTok has been super creepy as well. One of my suggested searches was stop closing your door at night.
The exploration of this mine started off quite normal, with the group staying silent to avoid causing an accidental cave-in as seen by the text they put on screen. However, after about 1.5 minutes of treading deeper into the mine, Connor noticed something strangely reflective on the path ahead.
So, do you see that reflection? We're trying to... Oh.
Oh, Jesus, what? It's a shoe.
Oh,
Look, is that like a fossil? Dead animal or human?
okay. Wait, don't move, Wyatt.
What they found reflecting back at them was a shoe amongst many more in a massive pile with random bones scattered throughout.
Well, that's a bone right there. Actually, there's quite a few bones in this.
What made this pile even more odd was the sheer variety of shoes on display. Many of them were clearly very modern, while some were models that were released over 30 years ago. How could such a random assortment of shoes end up in an abandoned gold mine in the middle of nowhere? Things took an even darker turn when the group ventured further into the cave and found a bunch of bones, including a relatively intact spine.
So this is water flows. It is gonna be great. So we can't trust this.
Yeah, don't step any closer.
By this point, the group was growing increasingly unsettled by these disturbing discoveries, prompting them to leave the cave as quickly.
One of the many reasons I could never cut it as a cave explorer.
So here's Michael Jackson telling you to escape Saturn. This is the Saturn ring with the stars, right? Because they speak in symbolism. You have to understand symbolism. What is Saturn? Saturn represents anything that restricts human consciousness. Anything that restricts you. That could be a law. This is why judges wear black robes to represent the black planet of Saturn, because it's associated with winter and darkness. Anything that restricts you, It could be belief systems, religion. This is why you always see the black cube in religion, because the black cube symbolizes Saturn and it restricts the mind. It enslaves the mind. And you cannot develop your consciousness if you believe in a religion, because it externalizes your power into an external god. So he's basically telling you to escape the mind control. And here's some more symbolism of the things around you.
When you hear people talk about Saturn worship, you should always remember Saturn equals Satan.
This nest footage is straight out of a horror movie. It's making its rounds around the internet. Apparently, this was something that happened last night. This man with a dolly is transporting a woman who's going to cry for help. Now, the information made available online is that the police were called about what was captured on this footage. We're just unsure whether this woman ever got the help that she may need. If you recognize this area of Houston, despite the low quality of the video footage, let us know. This is just one of those that makes me think there's somebody in grave danger. Also, the information available is that this may have happened at an apartment complex in the Houston area.
That shout for help sounded like it took all of her energy just to get out.
Mouth which is busy smiling cannot bite.
It's no surprise that a country shaped by colonization would eventually turn to colonizing the mind. America's greatest export isn't tech. It's media. For decades, immigrants arrived believing in the dream they saw on television. The Pursuit of Happiness is actually one of my least favorite films because it romanticizes suffering, selling the idea that struggle is noble as long as it leads to success. But for many chasing that outdated version of the American dream, that success never comes. In films like Get Out and They Cloned Tyrone, Black people are subjugated through mind control. And in films like Don't Worry, Darling and Zoe Kravitz's Blink Twice, women's consciousness and memory are hijacked so that they can live either as obedient trad wives in a sanitized suburban fantasy or on a billionaire's private island, not even knowing what's happening to them.
Something horrible is about to happen.
In all of these films, luxury becomes a prison disguised as paradise. And similarly, Hollywood is built on illusion, not because it was created to corrupt minds, but because storytelling evolves. Film grew out of theater, and television grew out of film. But all of this is to say, some of our behaviors and beliefs might not be our own. They might be social constructs shaped by the stories we consume. This video is an attempt to clear the smoke and mirrors, even if just a little bit, because entertainment has always had the power to change minds, for better or for worse. And the first step to waking up from the American nightmare is simply knowing you're dreaming.
Blink Twice and Get Out are largely about being aware of your surroundings.
I was trying to get another video of my dog refusing to go out at night without a flashlight. He started acting like he heard something, though. And then I heard it, too.
What is that?
It sounded like something large walking through the trees. I didn't see this eye glinting, but I heard it move.
Hello? Rocky, what is that? Mom?
Then I saw these eyes reflecting the light. My question is, if this one is a deer at this height, what is this one? Why is it staring? The way this one turns its head to look at me, though,
Come on, Rocky, let's go inside. Come on. Let's get out of here.
Definitely looks like a Wendigo.
I'm seeing videos of people opening their TikTok cameras and seeing themselves from when they weren't recording. Like, they're literally opening up TikTok and it's basically like glitched on a screen where it's like they were doing something maybe an hour ago, but they weren't recording anything and their phone was just sitting somewhere, but it's like fully like has their face on the camera. And honestly, I genuinely feel like once Oracle bought TikTok and like that whole situation went down and like TikTok is in America, like type of thing, I genuinely feel like that whole plan is basically for surveillance and to collect data. That's genuinely what I think it is. So it's not really surprising to me that people are opening up their TikTok cameras and seeing like basically a picture of themselves from a time when they weren't even on TikTok or even recording at all. Because it's literally like TikTok is always watching. I don't know if it'd be literally because they're trying to see what you're watching and like the reactions that you're having as you're watching stuff, or if it's simply just to collect the data. But like either way, it wouldn't surprise me that they're just constantly watching always. It's literally the same thing as Siri. Like if you say, hey, to Siri, then literally it'll just open up. And then that begs the question, well, is Siri always listening? Because technically it would have to be able to know when you say, hey, Siri, so it would actually have to always be listening just in case you say it. It's not like, oh, it gets triggered once you say it. No, it has to constantly be listening in order for it to activate once you say it. So I feel like that's literally what TikTok is doing, but they're doing it to collect data and, you know, have surveillance on people. That's genuinely what I think it is. And it's not surprising, but it is actually crazy. But that's what I think is going on in terms of people opening up their TikTok apps and like seeing a glitched version of themselves from a time when they weren't even recording a video or even on TikTok at all. Like, that's what I think that is.
I can't mark myself as safe because I do frequently scroll TikTok while I'm on the toilet.
Okay, pull the string.
Okay.
Let it go slow. Alright, now do it regular. Alright, I'll do it again, but a little slower.
The toy saying I promise I won't tell is crazy work.
You might as well call me a YN because it's going to be gunplay. It's going to be hip fire, straight from the hip. Now, I may put one in my foot, but you best believe you're going to get the rest of them. You can believe this. You run at me like this, and I'm airing out the establishment.
No, because that guy is me in this situation 100%. And with that, we are out, you guys. Don't forget to give me a like and a sub on your way out. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future episodes. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.